All right, welcome back everyone. And today's video is a review of the season finale of How to Get Away with Murder. Excuse my voice, got a little cold here, but we have to talk about the finale. And basically, this whole season, as we know, in the winter, they killed Wes. They killed him off the show, something I completely hated, and I still hate. So I feel like I've been hate watching the second half of the season, but regardless, it's still been a pretty good season. So I am just going. There was 2 hours of this. The first episode was called A Terrible Mistake, and the second episode was called Wes. So I'm basically just going to give you a rundown. I'm not really going to recap the entire 2 hours because I just want to quickly go over the really top big points that kind of happened in both episodes. So in the first episode, it was basically about Connor. You see Connor contemplating suicide, and of course that right there is supposed to make the viewers think, okay, Connor killed Wes. He's contemplating suicide. He's a murderer, but of course, they like to throw us up a lot, and so I knew it wasn't Connor. I just knew they wasn't kicking off another student off the show for murder. But anyways, Connor's upset. To make a long story short, he finally tells the group that he was there the night that Wes was dead, and he tells them that he was there giving him CPR, and then he heard something break, which was a rib fracture. So when he's giving CPR, he's doing it so hard and for so long, and he panicked, and then he ran out, and then that's when the house blew. But at that time, he already had seen that someone had cut the wire and had gas running through the house. So fact of the matter is, when he got there, Wes was already dead, and he was doing everything he can to save him. So he's been feeling really bad about it and figures, I have to figure out a way to help Wes. So as he tells the group, Laura, of course, being a bitch, of course, when he tells the group, Laura becomes a bitch, and she's yelling at him and calling him and saying maybe he killed him. He's like, I did not kill, Wes. But he goes and have a conversation with Annalise, and he's thinking that maybe he should turn himself in for the murder. She's yelling at him because she's trying to guilt trip him into saying that he killed him. And one interesting thing during that argument that he said was, all your sons are dead. And like I said, from the beginning of this freaking series, I've always felt that Annalise has such a mother-son relationship with Wes. She cared about him so much. Even before we revealed her association with him in the past, we knew there was something there. I thought what was going to come out is finding out he was her son that she gave adoption years ago. I would have liked that story more than the story they have, but it ended up it was in a different way. So the end of this zone, my sons are not dead. I still have you guys, and I'm going to find a way to save y'all. So they decided that Connor was going to get on stage. Well, Connor said he should get onto, not stage, but get up in court and said that he's the one that he did CPR on Wes, and there's a broken rib fracture, but no one ever said anything because the autopsy obviously was not done on Wes. They decided Laura was going to do it, but of course when Laura goes on there and purges herself, they find out that she's purged herself before by saying that she'd been kidnapped when she really wasn't, when she was in Mexico. So her testimony then works. Now everyone's pretty much back at square. So now that they have this one thing down, they can't use that statement anymore. Connor decides he's just going to go to the DA and confess to everything against everybody's wishes. He goes there to confess. He's there. He calls the team and says, here, I'm at the DA. His name is DA Denver. He's like, hey, you know what? I'm here. I'm going to confess to everything. They tell him to get out, right? Now, one important clue that I didn't talk about is the phone. Atwood had a phone in which she had a bunch of blocked numbers called to. And so Asher decided that he's just going to call that block number to see who it goes to. When he calls the number, it ends up going to D.A. Denver's phone. Why Connor is in the office. So boom, two and two together. Denver has something to do with Wes's killing, his death, the cover-up, the frame-up on Annalise. So that's how they end the first hour. The second hour, Connor's missing. Obviously, Denver finds out they're onto him. So he takes him down someplace, I don't know, and locks him up and it's like, hey, listen, dude, you have to sign affidavit that Annalise did all this stuff and he'll get blanket immunity. Connor tries to hold up as long as he can why Denver is pressuring him. At the same time, the team is looking for Connor, but also looking for clues on who actually killed Wes, because they try to put all the pieces together. So in this segment, we have Annalise do something interesting. She actually goes and has a meeting, a lunch meeting with Sylvia Mahoney. She is the wife of that Mahoney guy who is supposedly Wes's father. But during this conversation, we find out that the Mahoney guy is not Wes's father, but Wes's grandfather. And then the younger son is his father. Who knows? Like, at this point, I don't know. And at this point, since Wes is dead, I don't care who his father is, because it's pointless right now, because he's dead, he's gone from the show. Why even evaluate to figure out if it's the younger Mahoney or the older Mahoney? Doesn't matter. So anyways, the lunch doesn't really go well, because at the time, you know, Annalise is thinking, okay, the Mahoney's have something to do with it. Let me see if I can try to make peace ground with them. And she's telling you got it all wrong, okay? I am not that type of person. Wes was my grandson, and, you know, leave us alone. That didn't pretty much go well. So now they're back again at square one, trying to figure out how they're going to get themselves out of this crazy. Annalise comes up with an idea. She says, let's blame it all on Wes. Reason why is there was a phone call that she had deleted from her phone that Oliver had backed up, in which Wes calls in. And this is a very encrypted phone call. He actually says, listen, they know about Rebecca. They know about Sam. Everything is because of me. I really messed up, and I don't want anyone to go down for me. I can't take it anymore. Please come home. So pretty much in this phone call, Wes blames himself for everything. It actually sounds like he's about to kill himself in this phone call. You can almost say he did try to kill himself, because the way his voice is, you could tell he was upset. He felt guilty. He was hurt. And in that moment, you see someone grab his face, and immediately that's, of course, when whoever it is that killed him began to kill him. Of course, there was a struggle. So I'll get to the end in a second. So they decided that that's their only tactic, is to blame Wes. Laura hates it, but it seems like the only way to get everything to stop. She goes to Denver, and she's like, Denver, I know you're involved. I don't know how you're involved, but let's make a truce here. I giving you evidence to blame everything on Wes. You can be free. My team can be free. Everyone can be free. So she's just kind of like, Denver. First he's like, nah, but then he's realizing this is a way for him to close a case and to keep him, you know, keep everything pretty much good with him and everything good with her. Because she was like, if you don't close this case, I'm going to come after you, because I know everything about you. And if I go down, you're going to go down even worse. So he takes the deal with her, decides he is not going to pursue anything with Annalise and her team, takes the new evidence of the phone call to the judge and says, hey, Nate gave me this evidence. Wes killed himself. So there's no reason for me to go after Annalise and the team. And that was it. So boom, that chapter's closed. So that was basically it. Who killed Wes? Okay, some random crazy stranger dude killed Wes. All right, yeah. So all this time, I'm like, who killed Wes? Who killed Wes? Some dude. And so anyways, they finally show us what happened to Wes. Wes, of course, goes into the house, Annalise's house. He makes that encrypted phone call, a really creepy phone call. Someone grabs him from the vine. He starts fighting with this person. Well, first, this person injects him with something. Who knows what it is he injected it. But he's fighting with this guy. But whatever he injected him with made him so weak that he fell to the ground, and he's crawling to the door screaming help. This guy turns him over, and of course Wes is just looking so sad and scared and pitiful, and Wes goes, why are you doing this to him? And he puts a sock or something inside Wes's mouth and literally suffocated him to death. You know, I mean, it's the same as almost smothering. And that was a really tough scene to watch. Like, I love Wes, and to watch him, to see that he actually died a very violent death, it's sad, you know. Now, this same guy that killed Wes, we had seen him in earlier videos with Detective Denver. So we already know the DA, District Attorney Denver, is somehow related to this murder. So, but we don't really know how, but he's definitely being paid on the payroll. This crazy dude that we don't know who the heck he is the one who killed Wes. We don't know why. He just kills him. And then he takes him down to the basement, trips the wire, and pretty much sits him down there. That's when Connor goes and finds him and tries to give CPR, but this time he's already dead. So Connor did not kill him. So Connor sees that the house is about to blow. He takes off from the house, and of course the house below. Laura, of course, goes down there, and the house blows up. So that is pretty much it. So this is where it gets crazy. So all this time we're thinking, oh my God, Detective Denver was hired by the Mahoneys to kill Wes, and that goon of his is the one who went downstairs and killed Wes. So we're thinking, okay, he killed him, right? Why did he kill him? Later on, Laurel's like, you know what? I still think it's the Mahoneys. It's the youngest son. Let's go and prove it. She gets Michaela and Asher to go with him to a bar. They find him, and Michaela tries to seduce him. But after a while, Michaela's like, this is so stupid. Let's just not do this. Because, at this time, Asher has declared his love to Michaela. Michaela has declared her love to him. Laura's like, I have no time for y'all. Y'all getting on my nerves. I'm just going to go kill the dude and just get this all done. She takes a gun, is going after the younger Mahoney guy. She's going to kill him. Not thinking straight. Pregnancy has gotten to her head. And while she's going over there to go kill this man and out in public, the goon guy comes. It's like, hey, Laurel. She hugs him. And she's like, oh, my God, hey. And Michaela Asher's like, who is this guy? She's like, oh, it's a family friend. So this family friend of Laurel is who killed Wes, who we thought was hired by Detective DA. And then we found out, no, he was hired by Laurel's father to kill Wes. So boom, there sets the whole epic for season 4. Is it season 4? Yeah, season 4 with why did they kill Wes? I mean, seriously, I was sitting there thinking, like, why would Laura's father want to kill Wes? It's not like Wes and Laura were together for like years. No, they really only got together the last few weeks of the freaking show, a month. For some reason, I'm thinking it was a mistaken identity. I think he was meant to kill Frank or somebody else, and then he ended up killing Wes. Because I quite don't understand why Wes had to die by Laura's father. Is it a racial thing? I don't know. Or maybe did the Mahonies cahoot with Laura's father to kill Wes? I don't know. But to me, right at this point, I don't care because Wes is dead. So that's basically it. And I'm not sure how to feel about this show. Oh, one, I think, powerful moment was the end when Annalise finally, she's in some meeting, I think it's an AA meeting, and she talks about losing her son, and she talks about losing Wes, that she lost her son, that Wes was kind of like her son. She watched over him. She took care of him from the outside, made sure he was okay. Up until he got into college, she kind of guided him. This was her son that she lost. So he was pretty much making up for the son that she lost. And now she has lost 2 sons, and she's really grieving. She is a mother that's really grieving. And it was a very touching, powerful moment, and Viola played that to the T. I have to say that I was emotional at that scene. And I'm still emotional because I hate the fact they killed Wes. I don't know how the show dynamics is going to be without Wes. He was such a lead, and he was such an integral part of the show that without him, I just feel like there's this, it's vacant. It's really vacant there. So, but that's it. That's season finale. Next season, 4 is all about why the Mahonies and Laurel's father, the drug cartel or telecommunications guy from Mexico, why did he kill Wes? So at the point, I'm not interested in why. My problem is he already killed Wes. So there you go. But I have to say this. As much as I'm mad about the plot that they decided to go to through this season, everything was very well written. Everything was brilliantly written. It was just great. The writers are amazing. And the fact they pretty much had you going one way or the other in every single episode, fantastic. Fantastic show. I'm lying when I said I'm not coming back next season. Believe me, I will be right there watching it with the rest of you. So anyways, that's my review. Great season. I would give the season B+ because it was well written. It was awesome acting, and everything kind of made sense as they went along. But not an A because you killed Wes. You killed Wes. I'm pissed off about that. So anyways, tell me what you think about the whole season finale of of How to Get Away with Murder. And did you like the season? Did you not like the season? Are you pissed off about Wes as well? let me know. Okay, so thanks for watching this review. I will see you next year for How Get With Murder. And if you get a chance, check out my other Watch With Me videos on Scandal and The Walking Dead. All right, thank you. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button as well. All right, bye.